If I had $1 for every time someone tried to convince me that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I wouldn't have that many dollars. It would definitely be an awkward amount of cash to have lying around, though, because, you know, I'm assuming it would all be singles. Anyway, it's got Christmas music, it takes place on Christmas Eve, and the main character is trying to win his wife back. I mean, that's a classic Christmas movie trope. So, ultimately, I am inclined to agree. For the purposes of this video only, if Die Hard truly is a Christmas movie, then that technically implies that anything Die Hard related can also be connected to Christmas, if you're willing to open your mind and not be a dick about it. Here's the truth of the matter, folks. A Bar Rescue Christmas episode does not exist. That is, unless we apply the logic we just discussed. Then, Season 6, Episode 31, titled Pie Hard, starts to sound rather jolly. Was I just looking for an excuse to make another Bar Rescue video? Undoubtedly. But it wasn't until I dug deeper into this episode that I realized I actually might be onto something here. Maybe. In case you're unfamiliar with the plot of Die Hard, this guy goes to meet up with his estranged wife at her company's Christmas Eve party, which ends up getting hijacked by terrorists, forcing him to save everyone. Assuming this episode was titled from a story perspective, I can only imagine that John believed himself to be Bruce Willis, the patrons to be the patrons, and the owners to be the terrorists. Happy holidays, folks. It is therefore my job in this video to locate everything I deem an element of Christmas. And just as a reminder, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
For over 30 years, Jon Taffer has traveled the country saving hundreds of bars from failure and ruin. Now, John is heading to Largo, Florida to help rescue Gil and Rick's Sports Bar and Pizzeria.
How was the pizza? Pizza good? It's good. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Now, normally I would say this place is at a natural disadvantage given the fact that it's placed directly next door to a vape shop. However, as you just heard, this episode takes place in Florida. To Floridians, that's like a combination KFC Taco Bell. Who's gonna tell me about these beauty shots in the season 6 opening though? Like, what is he doing here? Leaving a bad tip? This is already shaping up to be quite the holiday treat. So before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's cover some lore.
In 2015, postal employee Gil Grimm decided to pursue one of his lifelong goals.
This has always been a dream of mine to own a sports bar since I was in the Army, 30 plus years.
What do you want, kid? Get it for everybody.
But I knew because I was still working that I needed a partner.
So Gil turned to his friend and post office colleague, Rick Johnson.
And I thought it'd be cool to help my friend out. I thought I was getting into something that would provide not a lot of income, you know, with some extra money.
We got problems that we got to discuss.
While I don't find anything particularly unusual about the setup here, I do find it a little bit funny that Gil has been dreaming about this specifically since being in the military over 30 years ago. You know how those World War II soldiers were writing dramatic letters to their loved ones back home? But the bitter cold means nothing, so long as I feel the warmth of your love in my heart, darling. Yeah, and then I'm thinking that this corner would be like the back, and this is probably where we would put the high tops. Pretty cool. Obviously, Gil wasn't fighting in World War II, okay? I know that. I just thought it was funny. God, you guys have no idea how to have fun. According to his employees, Gil is a rather high-strung individual. And to make sure we understand this, the show has provided a clip of him delivering a career-ending blow to an arcade speed bag. He literally punches it so hard that it startles a patron in the background. Whoa! Whoa! Rick, on the other hand, is a major people pleaser, which on this show is just another way of saying he's pouring free liquor down people's throats. He is entirely unwilling, however, to accept the fact that this might be the only reason that people like him so much.
People come in and they say, well, I'm glad you're here, Gil ain't here, because I don't want to listen to him.
You know why they're happy you're here? Because you're buying them drinks, bro. You're buying them shots.
That's bull.
Subconsciously, I'm sure this only makes him do it more, and it certainly seems to have contributed to their $200,000 of debt. But will John help this crumbling friendship flourish before Christmas, or is it all for naught? Well, let's be honest, you could probably just look it up if you wanted to.
Gil and Rick stand to lose everything if they can't find a way to deliver.
No, I don't care. I don't care.
So they've decided to pull back the doors, bust open the books, and make a call.
Hold on. Taffer GPT, roll that clip back real quick. Actually, Tapper GPT, Initiate sex mode. Did someone say Christmas episode, or was it just me? It was just me. Guys, trust the subliminals are present. Anyone else notice that Rick looks exactly like the mayor of Whoville? No? Here, check this out. Fuck with me. Ah, look at this. Santa's famous black SUV. I wonder which merry elves he's decided to bring with him this evening. Shut up. That wasn't even funny. Shut the fuck up.
Gil and Rick's Sports Bar and Pizzeria. Look at the sign, Sports.
Oh God! Oh no! All right, okay. Christmas is canceled. It's over. Oh, I knew it was only a matter of time before I saw Dave Portnoy's face on this show. I just didn't expect it to hurt this bad. Dave Portnoy has slowly become an Elon Musk type. It is highly entertaining to watch a guy who knows he's generally disliked, but doesn't understand why, try to win people over and consistently fail. I could yap for hours about his politics or his sexual assault case or even the fact that he's just straight up racist.
So I'm going to say something that's racist. I'm going to say it. When I heard this story, I didn't read it. I didn't know why he was saying there. I was like, oh, he's an ISIS guy. Throw a head wrap on this guy and he's terror.
Wait, you thought he was not standing for the national anthem because he wanted to, like, kill all Americans?
No, I thought he maybe had some terrorist Arabic.
All right, listen. But at the end of the day, what is he really? He's a 48-year-old overgrown frat boy, you know? Just shut up and eat the pizza, man. Luckily, that is what he's here to do. But first, John's got plans for Dave's producer, Frankie.
I want you to go in, buddy. I want you to sit at a table, a big table. I want you to order one of every pizza. That's about 11 pizzas.
Actually, John, why don't you walk in and order 11 pizzas? Yeah? Don't you want to see the beaming smiles on the staff's face for yourself? The kitchen is going to be so grateful when you ask them to work at 5 times their capacity. I mean, you said it yourself. They should be hungry for this opportunity.
You know, I think that's right. I have a friend in the military who trains military dogs, Laura, and they only feed a military dog at night because a hungry dog is an obedient dog. Well, if we're not causing people to be hungry to work, then we're providing them with all the meals they need sitting at home. What if we gave that additional unemployment benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work?
John and Dave think it's just the best thing ever watching this chef with no formal training prepare to single-handedly take on what seems to be the largest order of his career. It's total rage bait, dude. They just want to see this guy act out so they can find a way to villainize him.
One of every pizza, medium, and then a stromboli and a calzone.
A what?
One of every pizza, medium, and then a stromboli and a calzone.
Kidding me?
No.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm being serious, pretty sure.
Oh, you mother...
If you have a popular pizza place, guess what? 10 pizzas isn't that crazy. You're gonna have 10 different people and they're ordering pizzas at once.
So this is a guy who's pissed off that he actually has to work.
Yeah.
John, once again, get in that kitchen. Make 11 pizzas right now, each with their own individual set of ingredients and cook times. Sit your ass down for a polygraph test and tell me you had the time of your life. Also, yes, Dave, a popular pizza place should be able to produce that amount of pizzas, no problem. But this is not a popular pizza place. All of this is to say, when one guy comes into your restaurant and orders one of everything on the menu, including stromboli and calzone, you're gonna want to make sure you're not getting your willy tugged. To do this, the staff decides to have Frankie pay the bill in advance.
I mean, have him prepay, got you.
Yeah, once you say, here's the company.
Prepay.
What's he gonna run out of here with the pizzas?
So we got the checker here just because it's a large order for it. We want to make sure he ain't going nowhere or nothing.
They're making it seem like he's robbing this place. How uncomfortable can you make somebody?
That is a terrible business practice.
Wow, for two guys who supposedly know so much about how to run a pizza joint, they sure seem to know nothing about pizza joints. I mean, labor, supply, money, there are precautions that you have to take to protect these things. And this is by no means a traditional order. We get it, the place has shortcomings, the owners kind of suck, but it just feels like you're intentionally antagonizing these people for all of the wrong reasons, right off the bat. John tries to pass this off by claiming that sometimes he needs to understand failure in order to find the path to success.
When I sent Frankie in to order 11 pizzas, I knew there was no way they were going to achieve it. But when I really understand failure, I can find the path to success.
But sometimes failure is so deep, it's astonishing.
But he just said it himself. He already knew that the guy wouldn't be able to make 11 pizzas, and he is literally the one generating the supposed failure. I just don't really understand what he was expecting to learn from this. If that was actually what he was trying to do, you know? Last year, when I decided to give everyone in my life the exact same Christmas gift, people pointed, laughed at me, and called me stupid. But I don't think anyone's gonna be laughing after I introduce them this year to Raycon, the sponsor of today's video. I've been spending the past couple of weeks with Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds. Regular earbuds have the tendency to just block out everything. These Raycon buds, though, sit just outside of your ear canal, so you can really get clear sound, but you can actually hear what's happening around you, too. This is great for someone like me who lives in New York. I'm constantly walking around, you know, whether it's with the dog or by myself. Being able to enjoy your entertainment on the go while still being aware of your surroundings is really the best of both worlds. Not to mention the lightweight comfortability of these headphones. I mean, I was wearing them one day and totally forgot that I even had them on. Raycon as a company has over 3 million customers, and the best part is that the sound quality is just as good as the much more expensive brands. And hey, look, if you don't like them, that's fine. 30-day guarantee. Yup. So why wait? The Essential Open Earbuds are here for the holiday season, and they are selling fast. Raycon audio products are up to 20% off this holiday season. Just go to the link in the description or head to buyraycon.com/AndyKingOpen to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. Just be sure to order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas, because great gifts shouldn't show up late. Anyway, now Dave has joined Frankie, and as I'm sure you could expect, they do not like the pizza. This, for whatever reason, gives John major FOMO, and he decides, fuck it, he's in too. But only after hearing Frankie utter the phrase, "That's the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life."
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
I want to try this one with those guys and see what's going on here.
So, let's take stock of our situation here, because from what I've gathered, no one on the staff has been rude to a customer, and everyone is doing their job. Rick is still drinking with the customers, and that is a problem. But I'll admit, it doesn't seem to be affecting them operationally at this very moment. Oh my God, look at that Christmas reference! I would argue that based on this information, the following John entrance is completely unwarranted.
Oh boy. Hi. How you doing? Gil. I want a pretty pizza. How about this one? Oh man, feel this. Feel that. Let's give it a squeeze. How's that feel? Look at that. Doesn't look good. How did it taste, guys?
Horrible. Frankie almost threw up.
Okay, I know I don't have any basis for this claim, but something tells me they're either playing this up or they're lying. I've seen people eating the pizza in multiple shots. Look at this. This couple here is planning to take home leftovers. Even Frankie earlier on reveals that despite him not being a fan, some of the other customers actually seem to enjoy it.
How are the ones you got so far?
I gotta be honest, the people behind me, you know, they like the crust, but I wasn't a big fan. I gave it to them.
I don't know. He can yap on the pizza all he wants, but I feel like John's people don't want to work anymore mentality has really clouded his ability to focus on real issues. Despite an enormous amount of experience both in and around the field, he cannot understand why food service workers aren't all passionate about their work. And it's plain to see from many episodes that I've covered that rather than attempting to understand, he's resorted to resentment. Something that in this business, I would argue is very counterintuitive. It doesn't matter if two guys from Barstool Sports think this highly rushed pizza is mid, because the pizza isn't why they're losing money. They're losing money because one of the owners is running free bottle service for the visiting 55+ community. Staking an entire half of the issue with this place on the staff's reaction to, reminder, one guy ordering everything on the menu hardly feels productive. Anyone would react that way to a biblical amount of gluttony.
Thank him for coming here and apologize.
Apologize.
See you tomorrow. Let's get out of here, guys.
You know what I say? I say justice for Taz. Oh,
God, fuck, yeah, that's his name, by the way. Taz, the kitchen manager.
Tasmanian devil.
Oh my God, yes, Dave! Oh my God, that is so funny! Oh my God, I never would have thought of that, Dave! And that's what I imagine a typical day looks like in the Barstool office. As I mentioned a moment ago, Taz, on night 1, does not receive a single opportunity to defend himself. That is until day 2, where he still doesn't really get to do that. Make no mistake, he is given the opportunity to explain himself. I just don't think John is really interested in hearing him.
I do want to work. I used to have a passion and a love for all food. Could I have made your process quicker and easier last night? Probably. Why didn't you do that? Lack of time. No, that kitchen is a disorganized mess. Those cheeses were not prepped on a line, were they? No, sir. Could you have prepped more last night and be better prepared? Yes. Was that a mistake or a choice that you didn't? It was a mistake. It was a choice. A mistake is when you trip and fall. The attitude that you had last night, I would have fired you in a heartbeat, because that you attitude is a cancer.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. That's my bad for being cancer. Am I watching an entirely different show here? Is Taz not being unreasonably polite right now and getting pee-peed on in return? I'm sorry, like, come on, he just insinuated that he wants to find his passion for cooking again, and he is consistently calling John sir. I gotta say, despite the show's attempts to make him look like a bad guy, I happen to think that Taz is a lot more valuable to this team than John is currently giving him credit for. And besides, John didn't even try the pizza. He just juiced it. I just realized that I've never seen John try a single food or drink on this show, ever. And like, have you guys ever noticed that? That's kind of crazy, right? Let me know in the comment section.
I put my Sculpture Hospitality system in here. Sculpture Hospitality weighs every liquor bottle behind the bar. I know exactly how many ounces in fluid are behind the bar. We then go through all of your cash register tapes, all of your transactions, and we determine what should have been consumed.
Using this method, John was able to deduce within 1 weekend of sales that the bar is currently on track to lose $73,000 by the end of the year. So they need to recover. Fast. Thankfully, this means we're done with the Barstool guys and we're moving on to the real experts. John loves them so much, he calls them his warriors.
When I come do this, I bring 2 experts with me that are really strong. I brought 2 of the best. These are my warriors.
So hopefully, New York pizza chef Frank Pinello and mixologist Rob Floyd will be able to bring us to the finish line in one piece. Topic switch. Anyone else notice that this episode has yet to talk about the actual bar? At one point, I recall Dave saying that the beer stunk.
I mean, this beer stinks.
But regardless, it's the only thing related to the bar that is mentioned on night 1. They definitely should have talked about it more though, because it is goddamn filthy. When John discovers its condition, it gets him so worked up that he starts sweating.
Jesus Christ, I'm sweating because I'm so freaking angry.
Aside from the bar needing a scrub down, however, I can't really say I knew what to expect moving forward. I quickly learned that that was okay though, because the next part for me was quite the gift. Christmas.
You know what I'm looking for coming up? I'm looking for accuracy in pouring. I'm looking for accountability. I'm looking for a staff that's going to be passionate, take control, and really take ownership of the bar.
We got to start at the beginning. And with the beginning, we're going to start with a simple margarita.
Yes! Yes! I love margaritas! Oh my God! I love to drink. We love to drink. Yeah, Donald Trump, trendy. I'm about to be hypercritical here, okay? Just a warning. I don't play when it comes to margaritas.
With this margarita, we're gonna do very simple, structured pours. 1 ounce of lime here, 3/4 ounce of agave, and then silver tequila. 1.5 ounces. And so we shake, and when we shake, we smile. We have
and there you go again with the smiling shit. Holy hell, guys. What do I always say? They don't need to be happy to make me a margarita, okay? If anything, I would prefer them to be focused. And another thing, your margarita sucks.
This is for a couple of reasons, and we're gonna break them down right now in full detail. First of all, what Rob is trying to show them how to make is something called a Tommy's margarita.
Tommy's margarita is basically the same thing as a regular margarita. You're just not using triple sec. What really pisses me off though is the lime juice that they're using. You see how when he pours it into the glass, it's very bright yellow? That's how you can tell it's not fresh lime juice. It's actually probably sweetened lime juice. So the sweetened lime juice on top of the 3/4 ounce of agave is gonna be really sweet. So we are gonna use fresh lime juice, but I will follow him on the 3/4 of agave. 3/4. What I think is really gonna make this sweet though is the fact that he says to use 1.5 ounces of tequila. Normally you would use 2 ounces. So we are just gonna see how this goes. Shout out to this style of shaker, the one that just, it's all built in. It's nice. And the result is, yeah, looks good. Go ahead and give that a try. Here we go. Yeah, that's just way too sweet. I understand that they're using the sweetened lime juice for cost efficiency, but even still, I feel like you would want to cut back on the agave a little bit. Let me show you how to make a better one. All right, this one's for the personal vault. We're gonna take a little bit of traditional and mix it with a little bit of holiday, something fun. Here we go. We're gonna start off again with 1 ounce of lime juice. We're going to switch out agave and we're going to use ginger syrup. Feel free to use anywhere between 1/4 ounce and 1/2 ounce of this. I personally like to do 1/4 ounce because I like it a little bit more spirit forward. There's our 1/4 ounce right there. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of triple sec. And last but not least, 2 ounces of Blanco tequila. Oh, is it not gonna, it's not gonna focus. Okay, that's fine. I don't even know Tommy, all right? But I do know Andy, here we go. That's,
Yeah, last night was a show. Tonight, we're gonna get back to the basics. Let's make a pizza, let's just do it. Basically, we just want to establish a little bit of consistency. My goal is to come in there, teach him how to set up proper stations and how to really get out the best product that we possibly can in this kitchen.
I like Frank Pinello a lot. He's one of the only food experts I've seen on this show that's able to thoroughly take the staff and the audience through his process in a way that's digestible. Most of the time in the kitchen sessions, it feels like we're just watching the expert do everything while the staff sits there and tries it. Frank, however, allows Taz to have a hands-on experience all the way from start to finish, allowing us as the viewer to actually see improvement. It's something that I feel like I'm always asking for in shows like this, and I don't know, that was kind of a pleasant surprise, if you will. You know, you don't really see that often. Shout out Frank Pinello, Frank Pinello. It makes the stress test that follows feel a lot more stressful. You know, it feels like earned stress. But as we know, every stress test comes complete with a state-of-the-art humiliation tactic.
I'm gonna have these around the room. When customers order a pie, I simply want them to turn this to 20 minutes. I wanna see how we do. So when we hear this, we're starting to fall behind now.
Admittedly, this is much less humiliating than usual, and it's actually pretty smart. But the only reason I bring it up is because it aids in my motive.
I need a Bloody Mary and 2 more sours.
I can't.
Table 10, I got a hot and a mild.
Oh, not here. 10 tickets up there. Half of these tickets aren't even started yet.
Yeah, how far behind are we in time, Frankie? Do we know?
At least an hour behind.
Sounds a bit like Christmas here, to tell you the truth.
Oh my God, no way! Oh my God! To be clear, I chose this episode from the title alone, okay? There's no way for me to prove it, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Do you not trust me? I plan to make it about Christmas in whatever annoying way I could based on a personal theory. A personal theory that I myself believed was false because it was a joke. Does this mean I'm in too deep with Bar Rescue? Like, am I just this cracked at predicting the events of the episodes? I'll be honest, I thought I was gonna find the most relation in like the new drinks or something, which would have been the case if Rob didn't make them the most summery drink possible. Actually, he managed to take the Moscow Mule, an infamous winter drink, and give it a summery twist. So that actually would have put me in a pretty ironic situation. That Christmas comment, it truly felt like tying the ribbon though. And I'll be honest, I didn't care much for the rest of the episode because I had gotten what I came for. At this point in my coverage of Bar Rescue, I found it a lot more entertaining to approach it from whatever angle of the week I've chosen. And we did that today for the holidays. So you know what? Why not just skip to the greatest gift of all and see that remodel?
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful.
It is not often that I get to the end of the episode feeling like the staff fully deserves success, but after all the garbage John put them through, for what felt like no reason, I actually ended up liking them more. Except Rick. I think Gil was super misunderstood. I think in general, this was a group of people who recognized their shortcomings pretty immediately, and it forced John to embellish for the sake of content. That is it! Holiday Bar Rescue. Okay, right, it was kind of fun. It wasn't that much of a stretch. I'd like to use the end of this video as a message to Jon Taffer. Make an actual Christmas episode. What are you doing, man? As usual, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next time in the comments. Let me know what your favorite, let me know what your favorite cocktail is. Happy holidays, happy Bar Rescue, and go have a good time with your family and your friends or whoever. I will be doing that myself, and I'll see you in a few weeks. But that is all I have for you this time, so until next time. I'm gonna do like a dramatic, like, blow out the candle. Check this out. Bring it over here to the front. Ready?